Hello students, welcome to all. This is Dr. Vigneshwar Mekha, a lecturer in Geography, Government Degree College for Women's, Begumpet, Hyderabad. In the present session, that is Volcanoes, Classes, Types and Distribution, Part 2, we are going to discuss about the types of volcanoes. In the previous session, the points covered are definition of volcano, causes of volcanoes, types of lava, volcanic landforms. And in the present session, we are going to cover the types of volcanoes. And in this classification based on the nature of volcanic eruption, there are two types, central eruption type and fissure eruption type. Besides, we are also going to discuss about the volcanic explosivity index. First, let us start with the types of volcanoes. The most common type of volcanic eruption occurs when magma, that is, the term for lava, when it is below the earth's surface, is released from a volcanic vent. The eruption can be effusive, where lava flows like a thick, sticky liquid, or explosive, where the fragments lava explodes out of a vent. In explosive eruptions, the fragmented rock may be accompanied by ash and gases in effusive eruptions. Degassing is common, but ash is usually not. There is a wide range of variations in the volcanic eruption modes and their periodicity. Volcanologists classify eruptions into several different types. Some are named for particular volcanoes where the type of eruption is common, and others concern the resulting the shape of eruptive products or the place where the eruption occurs. Thus, volcanoes are classified on the basis of A, the mode of eruption, and B, the period of eruption and the nature of activities. Now, let us look at the classification based on the period, the nature of volcanic. During an episode of activity, a volcano commonly displays a distinctive pattern of behavior. Some mild eruptions merely discharge steam and other gases, whereas others eruptions quietly extrude quantities of lava. The most common spectacular eruptions consist of violent explosions that blast great clouds of gas-laden debris into the atmosphere. The most of the volcanic eruptions takes place in two ways. They are one, violent and explosive type of eruption of lava, volcanic dust and ashes, as well as the fragments material through a narrow pipe and small openings under the impact of violent gases. And two is the fissure type of eruption along a long fracture or the fissure or a fault due to the weak gases and the huge volume of lava. Thus, based on the nature and the intensity of the lava eruptions, volcanoes are divided into two categories or two groups. They are of one, the central eruption type, and two is a fissure eruption. Central eruption type, and the two is fissure eruption. The first is central eruption type. The central or explosive type of volcanic eruptions are favored by high gas content and high viscosity magmas, that is andesitic to rhyolitic magma. They occur through a central pipe and small openings by breaking and blowing of crustal surface due to the violent and explosive gases accumulated inside the earth. The eruption is so rapid and violent that huge quantity of volcanic materials comprising of lava, volcanic dust, and ashes, fragmented materials, etc., are ejected into the air up to thousands of meters. The explosive bursting of bubbles fragments the magma into clouds of liquid that cool as they fall through the air. These solid particles become pyroclast or volcanic ash. After dropping down from the air, all these particles or the materials accumulate around the volcanic vent and form different kinds of volcanic cones. The type of volcanic eruption is often labeled with the name of a well-known volcano where characteristic behavior is similar, hence the use of such terms as the Strombolian, Volcanian, and others. Some volcanoes may exhibit only one character type of eruption during a interval of activity. Others may display an entire sequence of types. Volcanoes of central eruption type may be subdivided into the five major following types as the following. Yeah. 1. Hawaiian type of volcanoes. 2. Strombolian type of volcanoes. 3. Volcanian type of volcanoes. 4. Vesuvius or Plinian type of volcanoes. And 5. Fifth one is the Pelian type of volcanoes. Let us discuss each of these central eruption type of volcanoes in detail. First, let us go with the Hawaiian type of volcanoes. Hawaiian type of volcano. The Hawaiian type of volcanoes are a type of volcanic eruption named after the Hawaiian volcanoes. These volcanoes are the comest types characterized by the effusive eruptions of very fluid blast type lavas from craters, lava lakes, fissures with little ejected material, that is low gaseous content. A single flow spreads widely over open slopes or the flows down the valleys as the lava rivers. Steady production of small mounds of lava builds up the large, broad form a shield volcano. Eruptions are not centralized at the main summit as with the other volcanic types and often occur at winds around the summit and form fissure vents radiating out of the center. The picture on the screen discloses you about the Hawaiian type of eruption. And the right side shows you the uh, landform formed of the Hawaiian type of eruption. And the next one is the Strombolian type of volcanoes. The Strombolian type of volcanoes are a type of volcanic eruption named after Stromboli volcanoes, that is in Lipari Highlands, Italy, Mediterranean Sea. The Stromboli volcano, which is known as the lighthouse of the Mediterranean Sea, has been erupting lava continuously for centuries. The Strombolian eruption are driven by the continuous formation of large gas bubbles within the magma. Upon reaching the surface, the bubbles burst with a loud pop, throwing magma in the air. Because of the high gas pressures associated with the magma, episodic explosive eruptions occur, that is, erupts one in every few minutes, like fountain eruption. The figure on the screen discloses you about the explosion of the Strombolian type of volcanoes. And the picture on the screen that you see all that you see are the Krakatoa volcano, and which is an important Strombolian type of volcano. This Krakatoa, Anak Krakatoa volcano is the greatest volcanic explosion known to humans in is perhaps that of Krakatoa eruption in 1883. The explosion could be the head in Pearl, Australia, almost 3,000 miles away. More than 36,000 people died, mostly from the tsunamis that followed the explosion. At present, the Krakatoa archipelago is a group of 4 small volcanic islands in 2018 Sunda Strait tsunami. The eruption of Anak Krakatoa in December 2018 and the subsequent collapse of the southwest sector of the volcano, including the summit, triggered the tsunami that has killed more than 400 people. While Indonesia possessed a tsunami warning system for tsunamis caused by earthquakes, there were none in place for volcanic tsunamis, and hence there were no early warnings. And third one is the Volcanian type of volcanoes. The picture on the screen discloses to you about the Volcanian type of volcanoes. In monocolian eruptions, the intermediate viscous lava or magma in the volcano makes it difficult for gases to escape. This leads to the buildup of high gas pressure, eventually resulting in explosive eruption. They are also more explosive than their Strombolian counterparts, with the eruptive columns often reaching between 5 to 10 kilometers high from the surface. The molten lava is explosively ejected as a great cauliflower cloud of dark tempera. Bombs, blocks, lapilli, and other ejected materials fall in the surrounding area during the eruption. After each eruption cycle, the volcano is dormant for decades or centuries. And another one is, the fourth one is the Vesuvian type of volcanoes. These are also known as the Plinian type of volcanoes. The picture on the screen discloses to you about the Vesuvian type or the Plinian type of volcanoes. The Plinian eruptions, which are also known as Vesuvian eruptions, are a type of volcanic eruption named after the historical eruption of Mount Vesuvius, that is in 79 AD, carried the Roman town of Pompeii. In Plinian eruptions, dissolved volatile gases stored in the magma are channeled to the top through a narrow conduit, that is pipe-like structure. The gases erupt into a massive column of the gas plume that reaches up to 2 to 45 kilometers into the atmosphere. As it reaches higher, the plume expands and becomes less dense, and convection and the thermal expansion of volcanic ash drive it even further up to the stratosphere. At the top of the plume, powerful prevailing winds drive the plume in a direction away from the volcanoes. The picture on the screen discloses to you about the Mount Vesuvius. It is a stratovolcano in Bay of Naples in Italy country. It is best known for its Plinian-type eruption in AD 79 that led to the destruction of the Roman cities of the Pompeii, Herculaneum, and others. More than 1,000 people died in the eruption. The eruption ejected a cloud of stones, ashes, volcanic ashes to the height of more than 30 kilometers from the surface. Vesuvius has erupted many times since. Today it is registered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world because of the population of 3 lakhs, 30 lakhs people living nearby this volcano. The eruptions alternate between Plinian and Pelian, with most of the being Plinian type. And the fifth one is Pelian type of volcanoes. The picture on the screen discloses you about the Pelian type of volcanic. Pelian eruptions are a type of volcanic eruption named after the volcano Mount Pelee in Martinique. In Pelian eruptions, a large amount of gas, dust, ash, and lava fragments are blown out laterally by the collapse of their cinder. The sudden burst of lava dome causes the collapse of the cinder core. This type of eruption results in very viscous, gas-rich, acidic breaking out laterally and flowing out violently at high speed, causing massive destruction on its path. Hot gas and lava mixture are not carried skyward to become cold tephra, but spreads down slopes as a nuisance, continuing to cousin the following fragments. The Mount Pelee is a volcano at the northern end of Martinique Island, French Overseas Department in the Lesser Antilles Island of the Caribbean Islands. The volcano is famous for its Pelian-type eruption in 1902 that killed about 30,000 people. Most deaths were caused by pyroclastic flows, which destroyed the city of Saint Pierre. Now, let us discuss about the volcanic explosivity index. The volcanic explosivity index was devised by Chris Newhall United States Geological Survey, Steve Self at University of Hawaii. The volcanic explosivity index is a scale from 0 to 8 for measuring the strength of volcanic eruptions. It operates in a way like the Richter scale for the earthquakes made by the Charles Richter, and that each interval in value represents a tenfold increasing in magnitude. It is a relative study to measure explosivity of volcanoes. The table on the screen discloses to you about the volcanic explosivity index. The next column it is we can observe the 0 to 8 indexes, that is 0 to 8, total 9. And the second column we are seeing the description, and then in the plume height during the eruption, and the volume of the lava, and the description based on the classification of the volcanoes, and the frequency of volcanoes takes place in the world. If the VEI, the volcanic explosivity index, is 0, that is non-explosive, the plume may be minus 100 meters, and value of the lava would be around 1000 meters cube, and it can be classified as Hawaiian type, and this occurs daily. And the second is gentle 100. The lava plume height would be ruptured up to 100 to 1000 meters. The value would be 10,000 meters cubes. And this could be classified as Hawaiian and Strombolian, and eruption, the frequency would be F. The second is explosive. Plume height would be 1 to 5 kilometers, and value is about 10 lakhs. And the classification would be Strombolian type or volcanic type. Weekly once it erupts. The third VAI is a severe explosion, and plume height would be 3 to 15 kilometers from surface, and the value would be around 1 crore per meter cube, and these are volcanic type of eruptions. Yearly once these volcanoes erupt. If the VEI is 4, the cataclysmic, and the plume height, that is lava height, would be 10 to 25 kilometers, that is 10 crores volume, and volcanic type, linear type of volcanoes explode like this, and at least 10 times per year. And the fifth one is a paroxysmal. The plume height would be 25 kilometers plus, and volume would be around 1 kilometer, 1 cubic kilometer around the that volcanic vent, and this VEIB would be the plinian type of volcanoes, and for year hundreds of eruptions takes place. And if the sixth is VEI is sixth one, the colossal, the plume height would be about plus 25 kilometers, and value would be the 10 square kilometers from the vent, and plinian and ultra plinian type of volcanoes. Ultra plinian is the more destructive than the plinian, and per year 100 it takes place. And the seventh is a super colossal, and plume height would be 25 kilometers plus, and the value would be 100 kilometers, 100 cubic kilometers, and it is ultra plinian type, thousands for year. And the eighth is mega colossal, 25 kilometers plus height, the plume height increases, and the lava volume would be 1000 kilometers, 1000 cubic kilometer. This is also ultra plinian type, and happens after every 10,000s of years. And now the classification based on the nature of volcanic eruptions. We have discussed the central eruption type of volcanoes. Now we should discuss about the fissure eruption type of volcanoes. These types of volcanoes in general occur along a long fracture, fault, and fissure, and there is a slow upwelling of magma from below, and the resultant lava spread over the ground surface. The lava speed depends on the nature of magma, volume of magma, slope of ground surface, and the temperature conditions of that magma. Thus, the fissure eruption type of volcanoes is of three kinds. They are 1 or A, lava flood or lava flow, B, mud flow, and C, fumaroles. Now, let us discuss about each of these fissure eruption type of volcanoes. Firstly, we move with the lava flood or lava flows. Lava floods, also known as lava flows, are common in Hawaii and Strombolian type eruption and the least explosive. Although they have been known to travel as fast as 64 km per hour, most of the lava flows are slower and give people time to move out of the that way. Thus, in general, lava flows are most damaging to the property as they can destroy anything in their path. The figure on the screen discloses you about the lava floods or the lava flows. And the next is mud flows. A volcanic eruption usually leaves lots of loose unconsolidated fragmental debris along with the other materials. When the rapid melting of snow and ice by pyroclastic flows, intense rainfall on loose volcanic rock deposits, breakout of a lake or draining of a crater lake, and as consequence of debris avalanches, a mud flow results. Rapidly flowing mixture of rock debris and water that originate on the slope of a volcano is called as mud flow. Mud flows are also called as lahars. The lahars can be occur accompanying an eruption or occurring along after an eruption. Lahars may be hot or cold and move at a height, high velocity as they fill stream valleys that drain to volcano. At the base of the volcano, they spread out and cover wide areas. In general, the lahars devastate anything in their path, destruct the anything in their path, carrying away homes, buildings, bridges, and destroying roads and killing livestock and people. It is important to understand that the lahars can occur accompanying an eruption or can occur simply as a result of heavy rainfall or the sudden snow melt without an eruption. The figure on the screen discloses you about the mud flow or the debris flow or lava. And the third is fumaroles. Fumaroles is the third fissure eruption type of volcano. The figure on the screen discloses you about the fumaroles. Fumaroles are vents from which steam emits steam and volcanic gases into the atmosphere. Fumaroles can occur along tiny cracks, along fissures, and chaotic clusters at the fields near active volcanoes or in the areas where the magma has been raised into the Earth's crust without erupting on the surface. They may persist for decades or centuries if they are above a persistent heat source, that is, active magma chamber, or they disappear within weeks to months if they occur atop a fresh volcanic deposit that quickly cools. The temperature rise from 70 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius or more. In some cases, they are hidden in the grounds like in Stephan's crater or Meziros, and we can break it into them. The gases are dangerous and gas mask is often needed when we approach here. The fumaroles are always a sign of active volcanism. Dear students, so far we have covered the following points. Types of volcanoes. In this classification, we have uh, gone with the classification based on the nature of the volcanic eruption, and it is of two types: central eruption type of volcanoes, fissure eruption type volcanoes. And the central eruption type of volcanoes are again subdivided into five types. They are of Hawaiian type of volcanoes, Strombolian type of volcanoes, Volcanian type of volcanoes, Vesuvian type of volcanoes, or the Plinian type of volcanoes, and the fifth is Pelian type volcanoes. And we also discussed about the volcanic explosivity index, the height of the or the eruption of the volcanic magma or the lava or the plume. And next also we have gone with the fissure eruption type of volcanoes. In this we have discussed about the lava floods or the lava flows, mud flows, debris of the lavas, and the fumaroles, which are the symbol or the sign up for the active volcanoes. So in the next session, I will be with you with the rest of the uh, volcanic types. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, Arundel. Thank you very much.